Hello everyone, I'm Jason, a senior student in Petra Christian University, majoring in International Business Management. This video is created on behalf of Professor Dr. Casey Chan, the founder of Holistic Learning Consortium in Singapore, while at the same time is a lecturer in Petra Christian University. And at the very beginning of this video, I would like to say a big thank you for him, because he has guided me and enriched my knowledge by teaching me lots of comprehensive ways of thinking that I believe that it will be very useful for me in the future. Moreover, he has assigned me to do lots of analysis and also presentations on many multinational corporations worldwide, and it basically helped me to open my eyes about how is a real international business world operate. So after conducting 2.5 years study in IBM, this video marks the end of my official study in class that I have done in the last 17 years. And right now I am ready to go to start my internship program in PT Hanjaya Mandala Sampurna. And basically this video will cover three main things. First is my personal reflection, second is my personal goals in the next future, and last but not least, this video will cover the realization of the knowledge that I have learned in the class. To have a more comprehensive and better understanding about the content of the presentation, I would like to use one of the most basic framework that Professor Dr. Casey Chan taught me by asking three very simple questions, which are what that represents holistic thinking, why that represents critical thinking, and how that represents system thinking. Together, the integration of these three types of thinking form a holistic thinking that is a super powerful tool to solve problems. To begin with, let us start with what. What do I know about myself? To answer this question, I have developed 5 theses that can be classified into 3 different levels of competencies, starting from individual competencies, which representing my personal skills, knowledge, and capability as an individual human being. Team capacity that measures my ability to work in a team and what I can contribute to the team. And the highest level is organizational capability, which assess my leadership capability to communicate and bring an organization moving forward. In the individual competence level, there are 3 theses that have been developed. First is the learning styles. From the test that I have taken, it indicates that I tend to be more theorist and pragmatic, with 14 and 18 scores respectively. High score of theorist basically means that I love to discuss about the underlying concept and theories that explain why and how one particular event, assumption, and understanding is developed. On the other hand, high score of pragmatism indicates that I am a practical and result-oriented person that focuses on achieving my goal. During discussion, I tend to use a logical way of thinking to have a greater understanding about what is going on in my surroundings. Thus, by combining these 2 learning styles, I can sense myself that I am a concept-based person in which I must have a strong and clear vision and understanding during the consideration stage before taking a decision that leads to an action to approach my goal. The second test is the General Enterprising Tendency Test that is designed to measure the entrepreneurial related characters of one particular individual. My test result indicates that I have a high level of need for achievement, calculated risk-taking, and drive and determination that can be interpreted as proactive and independent achiever. Aligned with my learning style, high score of need for achievement and drive and determination indicate that I am a result-oriented person, forward-looking, restless and energetic, having self-confidence, persistence, and dedicated to completing one particular task to achieve my expected result. Meanwhile, I find one interesting fact that I have a relatively high score of calculated risk-taking, even I am a theorist. High score of calculated risk-taking means that I tend to act even there is no complete standing basis, accurately assess my personal capabilities, and set in a challenging yet achievable targets. And the last individual competence test is the Big 5 personality test, which aims to understand why an individual behaves in particular way and how the character is structured. Out of 5 different categories,
My score is quite distributed in the range of 17 to 27, with a high score of conscientiousness and neuroticism. High score of conscientiousness means that I have a personality that tends to be honest, hardworking, and perfectionist. In fact, I found this character suits the real me because I always want to do my best in every single thing that I do. I have set my personal standard even I am not in my preferable situation. Moreover, as an IBM student, I hold integrity value tightly in doing every single thing that I do because I believe that it is very crucial in building relationship and trustworthy among partners. In addition, high score of neuroticism means that I involve quite much emotional thinking in every single thing that I do. As a social creature, I think that one human being should be able to support others to get a better standard of living, or I can say it is a social responsibility. Next, moving on to the team capacity test that uses Belbin's 9 team rules. Out of 9 rules that are being observed, my test scores stand out in 3 different rules, which are shaper, completer, finisher, and coordinator. Using a deeper classification into classes, coordinator is a part of socio-oriented roles, in which I tend to be mature, confident, sharing responsibilities, and promotes decision making. On the other hand, shaper and complete finisher are 2 out of 3 elements of action-oriented roles. Those 2 characters describe my character as hungry for challenges, dynamic, manageable under pressure, while at the same time is meticulous, anxious, and on time. Combining these 2 roles, action-oriented and socio-oriented roles, makes me an individual who is very passionate, persistent, and energetic in spending efforts to achieve my goal. Yet, at the same time, I need to boost my thinking-oriented role, especially as a thinker-innovator, to be more innovative and creative. Ultimately, we're heading on to the top level of organizational capabilities tasks that use leadership self-assessment tests. Out of 9 characteristics, my test score is relatively well distributed in the scale of 10 to 14, with the highest score in communicating, leading teams, and negotiation. For communication competence, I prefer to do sharing and exchanging ideas with my team before taking the final decision, which is basically for the sake of a group of people. In addition, I enjoy my role as a leader that is also aligned with the result of the test in leading teams. Furthermore, I do love doing negotiation with third parties and achieving the middle point that will lead to a greater outcome and efficiency for all parties involved. Personally, I would like to establish a mutual beneficial relationship so that the ones who are dealing communication with me can also enjoy the positive outcomes. So now we have completed the 5 self-assessment tests capturing a deeper understanding about my skills, abilities, and characteristics in individual, team, and organizational level. Now let us move on to the second question, which represents critical thinking, by asking why does the self-assessment matter? And to answer this question, I will share my goals in 4 different time frames: 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, and 10 years. Starting from the shortest time frame in the next 1 year, I will have finished my internship in Sampurna, specifically in Finance Division. From this experience, I would like to have a greater awareness and understanding about how a real big corporation actually operates. I expect that I can learn lots of new knowledges that most importantly can be implemented and developed within my future career. At the same time, I would like to get to know about my family business, which in fact will be my future career. And in 3 years, I will work in my family business operations. At this period, I would like to know deeply about every detailed operations that is happening in my family business with a further target of improvement and expansion. Together with my brothers and sisters, we would like to bring this family business forward by focusing on specific industry, while at the same time, we would like to sightseeing any diversification opportunity in the range of the same industry. Within 5 years, we have a plan to extend and integrate our operations to establish and cement a stronger foundation of a vertical integration business line, starting from the upstream to downstream. At this period, at least we have extended the family business operations to one additional downstream sector, while at the same time, the existing industry will keep growing and expanding. And lastly, in the next 10 years, the family business should have reached a complete vertical integration business line, and as the management has been settled, we would like to expand and diversify further our business scope, especially in the property and consumer goods industry. At the same time, I personally can create my own business, as I hope that at this period, my financial capability can be independent and having some space of opportunity to challenge further the business world. So basically, those are all my personal goals that I target in the next few years: 1, 3, 5, and 10 years. And now we're heading on to the third and last question that represents system thinking, by asking, how do I implement what I have learned? In this part, I would like to share my application of knowledge about what I have learned throughout these last 4 semesters with Professor Dr. Casey Chan. However, before that, and now we're moving on to the third and last question that represents system thinking, by asking, how do I implement what I have learned? In this part, I would like to share my application of knowledge about what I have learned throughout these last 4 semesters with Professor Dr. Casey Chan. However, before that, I would like to share some of the major improvement in me that covers management, leadership, and entrepreneurship skills. In terms of management or knowledge worker, I have enriched myself with several new business models, strategies, and also some action learnings through different types of case studies that I have done with my group Kaizen. In terms of leadership, is that the most of the tasks conducted in IBM Major are in groups. There have been several times that I become the leader of the group, in which I have to share the vision, setting the direction and target, delegating responsibilities, and also doing an extensive communication with my fellow students to make sure that everything are on track and is done at the same wavelength. Last but not least, in terms of entrepreneurship, I was given the opportunity to be creative and innovative in finding out a new business idea that can provide a greater values to the stakeholders. Every discussion is targeting to find a new and fresh idea for a simple, scalable, and hard-to-imitate products or services. In fact, this development of my managerial, leadership, and entrepreneur skills has led me to become a better person. And now, I would like to give 3 concrete examples on how do I apply the knowledge and experience that I have earned during my study. During my 6th semester study in IBM, there was a time when 2 of my friends and I joined a business competition that is conducted by Gajah Mada University called Gajah Mada Business Case Competition. At this competition, participants were given 3 different case studies to be assessed, analyzed, and solved. In particular are Flipkart, Compass Gramedia, and Shell. In fact, we found that this kind of work is exactly the same as what we have done over and over again during our study. We have learned quite many comprehensive models that act as a very useful tools to help us developing our analysis. In particular are what way how model, reinventing business model, and SIO model. In result, even we did not make it as the champion, we were able to secure the 2nd place and bring the pride back to Petra Christian University. And the second example is that recently I started to gain some experiences by doing a stock investment trading by utilizing some knowledge that I have learned in IBM. In fact, I also adopt different ways of thinking, represented by the 6 thinking hats as my consideration in determining what stock I should include as my portfolio, and also what is the right time for me to either buy or sell the stocks. Initially, I use white hat way of thinking by looking at the facts from any data and information sources like newspaper, news sites, trader recommendation, market price, and global political and economic condition. At the same time, red hat way of thinking that uses emotional way may also work in some kind of situation because stock market cannot be fully analyzed using financial formulas. Then, yellow and black hat way of thinking will play as I will measure and weigh between the projected benefits and advantages that I may get on particular decision with the possible losses and risks. Green hat way of thinking about creativity may also be very useful to construct a sustainable and less risky stock portfolio to secure my investment. And last but not least, after having various point of views, we can see the big picture or helicopter view of what action should we take that will result on the greatest possible outcome. And the last example will be closely related to my future career plan in which contributing to my family business. In fact, as I just want to start my plan, I believe that I should follow the 6 A's framework to go into the family business. Starting from the awareness, I should increase my awareness about the latest development and management strategy of the industry. Then in alignment, I should align it to the current situation within my family business itself, searching for what is right and what is wrong. And after that, we should start to conduct an action that follow the value innovation model by increasing the good value, reducing the unfavorable yet costly activities, creating new values for the stakeholders, and eliminating wasteful activities and resources within the operations. And then, after the formulation of the strategy, then it should be adopted and executed within the organization. At the same time, we need to make sure that the organization has the right foundation, people, process, and tools to establish a sophisticated execution capability following the house of IBM theory. Moving on to the next stage, that the organization need to assure that the implementation of the new strategy can boost the company performance financially, improving the customer satisfaction, increasing the effectiveness and efficiency in the business process, and also developing a learning and growth among the people within the company. However, as we have completed the 5 stages, we need to be cautious about both external and internal risks, as the globalization is getting more and more intense and inevitable. The level of competition is getting harsher, and it is our responsibilities as the management to make sure that the business operations is adaptive and sustainable within the latest condition. So, until this point, we have completed the holistic thinking approach by answering every single question, what, why, and how in addressing the required question.
So basically, that is the end of the video, and I hope that you get something from it. Thank you for watching.